This is DC Channel Guns. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.
What up? This is DC Channel Guns coming at another gun video. Appreciate you watching, like, share, and subscribe. So I want to appreciate y'all for coming over here, taking the time out to see what's going on over here. Shout out to y'all, the new people in the 2A community and stuff. Another shout out to people who smash that like button, share it on their favorite social media platform and everything. And another shout out to y'all in the comment section. I'm talking about bringing that energy, letting us know what's going on in your area and stuff, what's happening, and forming the 2A community. I'm talking about we always need that people to keep everybody on the same page. And another shout out to y'all that come on here every single day through the good and the bad and ups and downs. Nothing moves in a straight line, people. So we're going to talk about firearm brands. I'm talking about this is a conversation I've been watching for a while. And, you know, there's a lot of people still kind of confused about what's going on when it comes to certain brands of firearms and stuff. Now, I'm talking about, you know, a lot of people wanting to know, you know, is this a good firearm to buy? Is that a good firearm to buy and stuff like that? And, you know, once again, people, I talked about this before. I'm going to talk about it again. When I first came into the 2A community a long time ago, people, I'm talking about you had companies who had a lot of situations going on with their firearms, you know, when it comes to producing, you know, a reliable firearm pretty much. And, you know, we had certain brands that people talk about for a long period of time, you know, that is not, you know, pretty much reliable and stuff like that. But, you know, right now, people, a lot of people that's coming into the 2A community, I don't care what firearm you choose. I'm talking about you're pretty much going to get a decent firearm, people. Now, a comment I got one time, you know, someone bought a firearm and then, you know, people around him were saying, hey, that's not a great gun. This is not a good gun, all kinds of stuff like that. The problem is most of these firearm manufacturers are using the same blueprint, people, the same blueprint. So no matter what type of firearm you have nowadays, you're going to pretty much get a great gun. Now, you know, back in the day, there was guns that you couldn't get a good magazine through and the gun pretty much falling apart or hanging up and all kinds of stuff. But you got a lot of firearms now that has really zoned, you know, pretty much zoomed in on their quality control at the manufacturers, and they're producing great guns. I'm talking about there's companies that I'm seeing that, you know, I never even heard of. I'm talking about producing a great reliable firearm. I'm seeing firearms at the ranges and stuff that, you know, I never heard, and they shoot very well. I'm talking about, you know, most firearms is adequate enough for you to use, and it's going to be reliable, people. I'm talking about we used to have an issue back in the day, but manufacturers with the technology and stuff we got now, and they're pretty much using the same blueprint. I'm talking about you can look at, for example, you can look at Glock, you can look at, you know, certain things they have on their farm, look at some of the other manufacturers, they're doing it. I'm talking about there's a lot of brands out there you can look at that, you know, people are talking about manufacturers copy each other and made their gun reliable. I'm talking about, you know, one thing that I found out, you know, Glock being on this road for a long time, the less parts that you have in the firearm, the more reliable it is, the less that you have that's gonna go wrong. And most of these guns fit that scenario. I'm talking about, I looked at a lot of guns. They have less parts now. The quality control is a whole lot better. I'm talking about, you know, the average person who buys a firearm is not gonna go and shoot 300-400 rounds a week, or, you know, going to the range just shooting hundreds and hundreds. Most people is not gonna do that. That's why I say most firearms are adequate enough for the average person. I'm talking about you getting it for self-defense and stuff like that, then, you know, it'll pretty much serve its purpose, no matter the price. You got guns cost a few $100s now, will serve its purpose, people. You know, these Saturday night specials that I grew up watching and stuff like that, hit or miss, people. I'm talking about, boy, they, you know, sometimes the magazine won't work, the bad springs, it was always something. Or some firearms couldn't use nothing but ball ammunition, couldn't use hollow points, or you had to do certain little things to the, you know, smooth the chamber and the bore and all that, the feed ramp and stuff, like you had to do all this polishing. But most companies do that now. Most manufacturers do that. You don't have to do all this type of stuff that we used to have to do and stuff. Even, you know, brands that back then pretty much they have really zoned in on their quality control, people. So, you know, don't get caught up in what people say, hey, that farm you got is not a great farm and stuff like that. We have different cars in this country. Everybody drive different cars. I see many brands of cars on the road. They're riding. Point A to B, people. That's all that counts. Firearms the same way. Now, when it comes to a firearm, certain things you have to look at. You got to look at weight. If you're going to conceal carry something, Certain firearms might be heavy like a brick, might be thick and stuff like that. That's when you start to get in some of the criteria, what type of firearm you want to carry. But then again, most manufacturers are pretty much creating the concealed carry weapons and stuff, making it smaller and lighter and stuff like that, using polymer. I'm talking about we're getting away from all metal firearms and stuff like that. So I'm talking about a lot of people is coming into this 2A community. You could be seeing old information or whatever the case may be, but you're pretty much going to be well suited with whatever firearm you choose nowadays, because most of the manufacturers are using the technology at their disposal and stuff to create a great firearm. Now, I don't care what brand of firearm that you have. I'm talking about there's a lot of firearm companies who had some type of flaw with their firearm. I'm talking about the best of them out there had issue with their guns. Now, I'm talking about when you're producing a lot of firearms and stuff and a manufacturing stuff, you're subject to a few of them that's going to have defects, going to have issues and stuff. Ain't nobody excluded from that. I don't care what type of gun you have, none, how much you pay for it, none of them is excluded for that. You know, you can always have little issues and stuff. And most firearm companies and stuff that, I had used and stuff, pretty much they had issues, they worked with it, and they get better at it on time. I'm going to use Taurus, for example. I love Taurus. I'm a Taurus firearm owner and stuff like that. Taurus back in the day have issues with their firearms. If you fast forward it up to now, Taurus has made great inroads. They really have improved. I'm talking about, they just released the GX4. I'm talking about you had the G3 series, the G2 series. I'm talking about, Taurus has really came a long ways. And a lot of other companies have done the same exact thing. So back in the day, with the technology we have now, a lot of these firearm companies are awesome. I'm talking about you can't go wrong buying a firearm, people. I'm talking about even firearms that I thought that were just kind of suspect to me. I see them in the range going back to, I'm talking about very reliable. And so, like I said before, a lot of people speak on firearms that they never own or never shot and stuff like that. So you can't go on, if you watch one video, any firearm out there, I guarantee you can find somebody talking bad about it. I have seen this through for a while in the 2A community. I don't care what farm you go by, you can find at least one that's going to talk bad about that that brand and stuff like that. So don't get caught up in that, people. Like I said, when you're selling hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of firearms out here, there's always going to be some issue and stuff. Now, when it comes to all firearms, always test your ammunition. Make sure the ammunition you buy will function reliable and stuff in it. That is another thing that we have to really look at. And I don't care what gun that you have, always clean your firearm. I seen the best brands. If you don't clean it, something can happen and stuff like that. So always clean your firearm after every use, people. Don't get in this notion, I need to put 400 or 500 rounds, 1,000 rounds before I clean it. No, if you're carrying something or have something for self-defense, you want to be reliable. You don't want to have one little thing that cause something to happen. So, I just want to talk about that a little bit. Been getting comments and stuff on it, people. Most firearms today will suit your needs and stuff like that, no matter how much you pay for it. Now, with that said, do your own research and stuff when it comes to firearms and stuff like that. But, far as the average person who has a firearm for what they're going to use it for, is pretty much applicable for everybody now. So you don't have that situation that I had when I first came in and stuff like that, where you got to be very selective. You pay for what you get. So this is DC Channel Guns, and I'll catch you on the next one.
This is DC Channel Guns. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.